V10. Here it is. My new van. I gotta back up a little more. This thing's really long. There it is. Now it's in the shot. You know how Suburbans and Excursions have 3 rows of seats? This has 4 rows of seats. 15 passengers. Not 7. 15. But these first 3 are coming out, and I'm keeping that last one in. So this will remain a 6-passenger vehicle. My current van, the van this is replacing, all the seats came out because it wasn't the extended model, but since this is the extended model, I could keep that last set of seats in. So this will remain a 6-passenger vehicle, and then once all these seats are out, I'll have all kinds of room to figure out what I want to do with this. Why a V10? The other options for Econolines are the 4.2 V6, I think it's the 4.2, the 4.6 V8, and the 5.4 V8. I have to get the V10. I'm a car guy. Knowing there's a V10, I have to get it. And the V10 Econoline is one of the most powerful vans ever. In fact, I think only the 2001 to 2002 Express outpowers it. It has the 8.1 big block that made 340 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque. This makes 305 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque. The Dodge vans never got the V10. Dodge has a V10. Their V10 makes 310 and 450, I want to say. But the Dodge vans never got a V10. They only got the 5.9, which is only 245 horsepower and 360 foot-pounds of torque. And then these vans got diesels. The 6.0, I want to say, makes 230 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque. And then the GM Chevy's got the Duramax detuned. I believe it was 250 and 500. So this is up there when it comes to powerful vans. So that's why I had to get the V10. I need to replace this. That's why I started on the right side. I got to get a new emblem. So that's very important to get another emblem. But yeah, look at this thing. It's all the way onto the sidewalk. It's like a mini bus. And then I got my first mod. Well, second mod. The first mod, I'm going to make a video about it. But first thing I bought for this, I'm going to get it insured when I get home. Full coverage. I don't want it stolen, but I got this too. A club. So there it is. Fire it up. Yes, this will get a performance muffler. Gotta hear that V10. I'm guessing this van weighs 6,000 pounds. We're not gonna race it, but it's got some power. You know what it reminds me of? Unfortunately, I don't get to drive many vehicles, but this reminds me of my parents' 1999 Dodge Durango. It has that low-end kick to it. Like, that's why it reminds me of my parents' 99 Durango from back in the day. The Durango had the 5.9 Magnum, 245 horsepower, and I want to say 350 foot-pounds of torque. I believe it was 350 or 360. But this engine really reminds me of that 5.9 Durango. In the 90s, the horsepower was low. This is only 300 horsepower for being a V10, but that's how vehicles were in the 90s. This is a 90s engine introduced in 97. But in the 90s, V8s had a lot of torque, but kind of low horsepower. Now V8s are making like 400 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. But back in the day, this was top of the line. At a light right now. I'll punch it so you guys can hear it and see the acceleration. Yeah, this reminds me of the 5.9 Durango. It's that 90s powertrain. Like, that's what it gave me memories of. That low-end torque from a stop. This thing feels torquier than that Durango. I like it. Quick run to 30. I'll do 0 to 60s. It'll happen. I gotta get a K&N filter and a performance muffler for this. But yeah, that low-end punch, it's nice. It's really nice. Way better than my 5.0 Econoline. Way more power. My 5.0 has 180 horsepower, 280 foot-pounds of torque. This is 305, 420, so that's a huge difference in power, and I could feel it. I really like this a lot. You're going to see a lot of videos in the next few weeks.